Welcome to the Workhorse Podcast. I'm Jessica with Moose Valley Ranch. And of course, I have Kendall with Central Park Farms, marketing for farmers. I don't even know, the list goes on and on. It is nice that mine is like one handle, usually. He sticks to the same thing. Okay, so we were chit-chatting the other day. Really what brought this about is that I recently did an about face, a 180 on a very strong stance I took. And if you know me, I take very strong stances a lot. That's no surprise that I feel very strongly about one way. But what I did was an absolute 180. So you can't see it right now, but raise your hand if you've ever said, I'll never be on TikTok. I'm raising my hand. I said that. But we're about to call ourselves out really hard today because we are sharing all the things that we swore we'd absolutely never do in business that we have 100% ended up doing. And here's the plot twist. Some of our biggest nevers became our best business moves, or we're hoping to be our next best business moves. And what we've really learned from that, what we want you guys to know is that you don't know what you don't know. And it's okay to change your mind. It is absolutely okay to say, I've learned something new, or I've grown and I've changed and I'm going to do something different. And we've had multiple conversations lately about when your business gets to a certain point or a certain stage in your journey that things sort of naturally happen. And I think one of those is having that moment.
I feel like this is the business version of before you have kids and saying you're never, ever going to let your kid have screen time ever. And then having kids and being like, oh, I get it now. Or I'm never going to do this in parenting. And then suddenly you have kids and you're like, no, never mind. Changing my mind. This is that, but business style.
Here's the screen. Here, buddy, you can have the screen. It's so hard, right? Because I think you come into things, some business, at least for me, I guess the TikTok thing was a 100% a law enforcement background. I had seen so many bad cases and so many instances of really horrible things on TikTok that I was just like, I'm never doing you will never see Moose Valley Ranch on TikTok. And I wasn't until 3 weeks ago, maybe a little longer.
I know you sent me a text message and you're like, oh, all you have to do to make copies of your videos is this. And then I can put them directly to TikTok. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And then you're putting your videos where? Because I'm pretty sure you said you would never, ever be on TikTok. So now why are you sending me advice on how to get the videos to TikTok?
Okay, but spoiler alert, that is the nicest hack ever, because if you're like me, I am not going to be recreating brand new content for every plot. I do not have the time to make 16 versions of. And so you guys,
that's how you soft launched it to me though. You didn't say, by the way, I changed my mind. You just soft launched it to me with by the way, if you ever want to, repurpose your reels over to TikTok like I am, do this. And I was like, I'm sorry, back up.
I'm holding my head in shame, you guys.
No, you don't have to hold it in shame. That's the whole point.
No, I'm just dying laughing. No, because it was so true. I really wasn't trying to soft launch it to you. I hadn't even thought about it. I was just so excited because one of my biggest pet peeves is when you see videos with the watermarks in them. And it's like, don't do that. It just instantly, to me, is like a turnoff. I don't like watching that content. And the algorithm will detect it, which is like a whole nother whatever, you deep dive into the meta strategy behind the watermarking from TikTok and what it does to your reach and engagement, but I hate it. And I stumbled across this tip that said, if you just very slightly with 2 fingers on the screen, pinch in or pinch out while it's playing, it will make it full screen with none of the overlay stuff that Instagram puts on it, and you can screen record it.
Yeah.
And I was super excited because there's been many times where I'll make a version of a reel and it'll be really great video splicing. And if the writing is small enough on it or transparent enough, I can oftentimes reuse that same video edited with new writing over the top and get the same engagement. If you've seen that one market reel where the horse is dancing in time to I just love that. His feet go in time.
We will link it in the show notes.
Oh, there you go. I've reused that video no less than 6 times, 7 times maybe. And so when I found that, I was like, oh, yes. If I forget to download it before I post it, now I can still get the video off without the thingy. And it did really come in handy for TikTok. And yes, you can now find Moose Valley Ranch on TikTok.
We will link to that in the show notes as well, so you can get some new people on TikTok.
I already had one video so here, let me just disclaimer this. We talk a lot about social media. I feel very comfortable in my knowledge on Instagram and Facebook at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I know nothing about TikTok. It is literally like me throwing things into the universe and just hoping for the best, because I could not tell you how to link something. I struggled for probably 4 hours trying to figure out how to put my website on there. I had a video pop off. It was nothing crazy. We're not talking millions. We're not even talking hundreds of thousands, but like I've already got 3,700 followers on it.
Ooh, girl.
I feel like it took me years to get to that on Instagram. It felt like that was like the clawing up on Instagram was like you get to 1,000 and it was you were so proud that you had broken that. And then on TikTok, I throw up like 2 videos and I'm just like, is this what everyone has been talking about over here? That this is possible? So stay tuned for that journey, because that whole thing is unraveling as we speak.
And now if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, dang, now I got to be on TikTok too. You don't.
No.
I'm not on TikTok. It's not necessarily where I'll find my ideal customer. However, I think it's really smart for Jess to be on TikTok with Market and with the Geodome. I think that's wildly smart for her to be on there. I don't necessarily think would have the same benefit for me versus the time that I'd put into it. That said, I do recommend everybody goes and gets their handle on TikTok.
Well, that was the first step down the slippery slope.
Get your handle so that you don't have somebody else go steal your handle out from under you, or just like lock it up. I lock up all my handles on any platform, even if I don't think I'm going to use it, because you just never know. And I just want to avoid somebody else coming along and like, I don't want a hater snatching my handle and turning it into like a Central Park Farms hater account.
Yeah. And I did that probably 2 years ago. I've, had it sitting there, never did anything with it, owned it. And then I don't even know. I think it was this hack that I learned that I was just like, I should see what happens. Like if I'm truly not having to make new content for this, I should see what happens and see if I reach that, festival music, country living, Western living is having its moment in pop culture right now. So I have to be like acutely aware of who that customer is. And then with the dome stuff, I'm just like, well, if I'm only having to repost it, and like if I'm creating one thing and I can post it in 2 places and get double, cool. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try it. I'm going to see. Never have I felt more hypocritical in my life than when I went and like put an actual, and you guys, like I put a profile picture in there. That was the first step. This is how like resolute I was in the, I will never be on TikTok. A couple days ago, my girlfriend sends me a link to a video and she's like, if you can't open this because I know you don't have a TikTok, let me know and I'll send you it a different way or whatever. And then she sends me a screenshot because she apparently scrolled down from that video and there was Moose Valley Ranch on TikTok. And she's like, never mind, you're apparently on TikTok.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. You are changing your opinion because of business. And I feel like that happens a lot, especially in this journey as you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah. Yes. You don't know what you don't know until you know it. And then also like my business has changed. When I started Moose Valley Ranch, it never, wedding venue was on the list, hosted hunts were on the list. Like it was never for market. And so I don't think I ever stopped and thought about like, is TikTok valuable for what my customer looks like now? I knew who my ideal customer was for, but I don't know that I ever reassessed that connection of where is the most valuable place for this. It's also why we're re-exploring Pinterest for the wedding stuff.
For sure.
I'm not convinced that Pinterest is the best place for a wedding venue, but I'm also not discounting it. Like I'm trying to see, reevaluate, because I feel like the online space it's always getting more crowded. The deep fake stuff is killing me and I think killing a lot of people. And so trying to kind of find where to go.
I feel like I'm having, like, not to get into the deeps of Pinterest. Pinterest is, I find, is really annoying right now because they have so much AI generated photos
Oh,
on
really?
Pinterest right now. It's like a huge thing that's happening. So like I
Mm.
go in there for inspo on content. So we're doing a photo shoot for the farm on camping, like a camping photo shoot. So Aaron and I, who helps me with my photographer, we both went in there to kind of like get ideas for what we could make it look like. And the amount of AI generated images was so
Oh.
insane that I'm like, man, like,
This isn't even inspiration
this
anymore?
isn't even
Is that?
inspirational anymore. I was like getting annoyed. And it might be under certain segments versus others, because when I
Mm.
go in for like photography about meat styling and stuff, no one's making AI content to that. Like that's not a, so I guess it would depend on what you're searching. But for some reason, camping photo shoots was wild, the amount of AI, and gardening photo shoots. Like you can tell because the tomatoes are like messed up, like they're not in the right spot on the plants and stuff like that. And there is a
Oh.
wild number of them in the gardening and camping space for some reason when I do content searches. So I actually am finding Pinterest to be a little bit annoying for me right now.
See, and I have not, when I say we're exploring that connection, I have not gone in and scrolled Pinterest in a very long time. So I didn't realize that. It makes sense. And I think this is why it leans in so much on that local piece, because it's you can't you can't turn anywhere online right now without seeing that and questioning any of it. And so that's kind of disappointing. Were you like
Yeah.
really sad
I
when
mean,
you I feel like I'd be sad.
obviously I'm an AI user because we teach on
Right.
AI. So I get, but for some reason, I don't love AI images. I don't use AI images in any capacity. And that's not a judgment on anybody who does. It's just, it doesn't align for me. And so I have a hard time browsing when that's what I'm being fed. And
Mm.
I'm personally not using Pinterest as a business strategy for me. I'm using it more as like a brainstorming, like, when somebody does a layout of an image, what's catching my eye? What color combinations are catching my eye for content creation from food styling and things like that. But I was a little frustrated in the last bit when I'm on there. And it's just because people can pump out content so fast because they're doing AI now. So it's just flooding Pinterest with really, they're going to have to get a handle on that. Otherwise, I think that platform is not going to.
It's going to go the way of Etsy.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's some point where it's going to start going so fast that the human brain can't keep up?
Yeah. Yeah, and they're
Wild.
saying that that's happening a lot with recipe development. So that was another category, and because I was talking to Erin. Erin is our photographer, food stylist, but she's also a chef, and she does our recipe development. And that was one thing Erin said to me. She was like, Pinterest pumps out so much AI. People are pumping out so much AI generated recipes using AI images, and the recipes aren't tested anymore. So like people are going on and trying recipes that maybe they actually haven't been tested. It's just because these websites can do
Oh.
advertisement, like get paid advertisement on their blog, and they're just pumping out so much content that's then getting fed automatically to places like Pinterest.
I saw something come across, and it was this psychedelic looking smoothie. I think it was on Instagram. Oh, it was in someone's story. And she's a food thing. And it was like a psychedelic. I mean, the layering was so cool, right? You could see how a kid would just
Yeah.
be like, this is so cool. It's like a unicorn or rainbow or whatever slushy thing. But like the colors were not muddled to get, like, as if you made that
Yeah.
it's absolutely not going to look like that. And then she broke down, because I didn't tap through to read the recipe, but her write up on her story was like, this is a huge problem because there is no way the combinations in the recipe of this, and this is going to even generate these colors, much less then look like this. And she kind of went, and so I sort of followed along on the trail. I got interested and I was like, oh, I want to read this. And I was, yeah, it kind of made me just want to go make like cornbread in my cast iron. Like grandma taught me, 40 years ago, because you can't mess up cornbread with butter in the cast iron. And
it'll be interesting to see where that goes. But yeah, that was just kind of an observation that I had about Pinterest the other day when I was on there.
Wouldn't it be wild if we went as a culture from being so on our phones if it swung the other way? Yes. I don't know that I had that in my bingo card, but
yeah, what if? That's interesting. I mean, definitely we're leaning in really heavily on storytelling narrative. And I know we've talked about this before, but just trying to get past that
I don't know. I
that
would
kind
be
of thing.
helpful if
And
I could just land in people's inboxes, but apparently the computer spam option, it's that whole Flowdesk thing that we were talking about. And I'm not sure if it's the email server or what it is, but like I have so many people telling me even after we have been emailing back and forth, like market vendors. So they have accessed the website, gotten the link, confirmed that they're getting the emails back and forth with me because that's the first thing I asked them to do is respond that they've gotten
yeah,
it. And then I'll send out, like I just sent out an email last week on something to do with market and nobody replied. And I'm just like, what's happening? Why are none of you? And they finally, I asked a couple of people to go see if they had seen it in their inbox and they're like, oh, I found it in my spam. And I'm like,
that is
wait,
so annoying.
we've been like, I get if I just cold email you off my list, like you added yourself and we've never conversed or whatnot. But apparently, I don't know if there needs to be a little like readjustment in the Google
Yeah,
something because I only send emails if people click that they want them and put their own email address in there. Could you just make sure it's delivered? I'm gonna
for
start
sure.
sending letters to people.
I don't know
50,
who
what
I'm
is a
sending a letter
stamp
to, but I'm
now?
sending a letter.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I'm gonna start doing is
Yeah.
sending like a 59-cent stamp. I wonder what the math is on that. Do you think it would be cheaper to send letters than it is to pay for?
Not to my email list.
Mine's getting pretty big, so probably not, but I haven't ran what I paid. Okay, sorry. So anyways,
We digressed really hard there.
we
We're back.
we squirreled hard. Welcome to our brains. We covered TikTok.
Yeah.
That is a very big one that I was adamant about. I'm going to make you go next because it's not just going to be me saying how I've never.
No, I was a very strong believer that the customer is always right when I started. Now I realize the customer is oftentimes wrong, and I'm okay with that. And I am okay with educating. Sometimes I'm okay with firing customers. And I say that with all the love. I think that was a big adjustment. I started the farm at 27. I'm 38 now. I think there's been a lot of growth with me as a human being from that point to that point. Also, my confidence level as a business person. I think that through that, we've had some like pretty big pivot is such like a pivot, whatever. But like we went through COVID in my area, and my area was like
it's a pivot. There's no other word that I could come up with for it.
People were fighting over meat in the grocery stores in my area. Like actually, like people were spitting on like at the grocery. It was so bizarre. I'm so ashamed about the community in which that was happening that I was residing. So, I mean, I had to fire customers during that time because I was like, do not come to my farm and treat my crew. And I think that was when it like really became obvious for me is that I feel like I was willing to accept a lot more when it was me. Because like I feel like I've got pretty thick skin for a lot of things. I mean, get me on the wrong time of the month. Maybe I don't have as thick a skin, but for the most part, I feel like I have pretty thick skin. But when you suddenly have a team and they're being treated a certain kind of way, no, I'm like mama bear of the bosses. I'm like, do not treat my staff that way. My staff work way too hard for us. We all work way too hard to feed you. Like mistakes happen, things happen. I will always, always, always show my customers respect. I will always make things right. But if you are just going to crap on us for something, like go to Costco. I'm good. I don't need you.
Did you, when you started your business, which maybe it would have been like pre-starting your business though, did you get upset when you would see other businesses not take the tact that the customer's always right? You know what I mean? Where you get kind of indignant of like, oh, I can't believe that business didn't make this right or didn't, give her what she wanted or
Yeah.
am I saying that right?
I think that I still get frustrated when customer service sucks somewhere. But I think that, and maybe this is just a biased as a business owner, but I really, and this is not a tooting my own horn because this is not me. I am a very small percentage of the actual customer service with our farm because we have staff, right? Like at the farm store, it's not me. The first line of defense typically for a complaint isn't me. I'm usually after the fact, and the feedback from our customers in reviews and all of those kinds of things, they say our product is awesome, which is great. But what I'm most proud of is they say that our customer service is fantastic. And they say that the women in the farm store are awesome, or that, Jay cut them exactly what they needed. And they say that the crew is what they love about the farm. So then when I get somebody who acts like our crew is garbage, or like has that kind of just something else in their personal lives is going on, and they've decided that this one small issue with our farm is the reason for them to unleash the fury of whatever's happening in their personal life, I'm just like, no, I have enough confidence in our crew and the way we handle things. But I don't know how that's always received by customers. And that is what that is. I'll always make it right. I will refund. I hard refund. I make sure that they are walking away. If they are getting fired, they are walking away with 100% of their money back. There's not a thing. But I am like, I don't think we're a fit. And I've said that. I actually had a customer once that I said that to, and I was like, you know what? It's become really apparent that we are probably not going to be able to make this right for you. We're going to give you your money back. We want to make sure that you are whole for the entire order. We will give you your money back. I don't think we're going to be a fit for you moving forward. And then he responded with something like, you think you're the only Disney princess who sells meat in this area? And I was like, joke's on you, because I am, because none of them can afford to be in business anymore. So joke's on you. Actually, I'm like one of the only. And so enjoy Costco.
I mean, honestly, though,
and Disney princess, I was like, do you think that that's an insult?
Yeah, I'm like, I would be like, oh my God, do you think I'm pretty?
Yeah, I was like, I'm so pretty. Like, and I remember that email coming through, and our like crew was laughing so hard because I was like fake twirling in my dress, like and I was like, I was like, I don't know if I should feel insulted or not, but like also jokes on him, because it's so hard to survive doing what I do in my community that I'm like, there's actually not a lot of us that do direct to consumer right in my area. So like, enjoy. And I'm also not going to recommend anybody to you because you treat people like a turd. So
yeah. And honestly, if I'm at coffee with my girlfriend that maybe does do the same thing as me, I'm going to let her know that she may be not done taking 100%, you on. Like
100%. I'm like not helping you get a new farmer, which I will always, if somebody's they're looking for something different than what we have or whatever, I'm so happy to recommend. Like, you want heritage pork versus what I do, I will tell you 3 farmers that are amazing, and I'll send you them. I'll like connect you by email, whatever you need. But if you treat people like a turd, you're not getting any help from me recommending to any of my friends. I'm going to warn them.
So with wedding walkthroughs, and I will say this, I have loved every bride that has come through my doors and had a wedding at our place. I can say that because I have 100% declined brides that give off the like immediate red flag, like in the emails leading up to it or whatever. If I can just tell that like this is not going to go well, then I generally am like, the date is unavailable.
Yeah,
the date that you want. That. But most of the time, what I'm doing when someone comes out and does a wedding tour, I really want to set their expectations, because here's what we are not. We are not a full service wedding venue. We are not your tables will be set up with your napkins folded. I'll be running around with a headset on. That is not it at all. Not it. And so if a bride is expecting that, I don't want her to book with me and then be let down. So I'm like very, very clear on this is exactly what we do and don't do. Yeah. And this is exactly what, and I always tell them, it's like one of my lines in my walkthrough speech is like, if you are looking for perfect grass, manicured lawn, concrete to walk on, like sidewalks to walk on, let me give you the names of 3 or 4 wedding venues that are just stunning, like immaculate grounds. Your dress probably will not get dirty, or maybe just like grass stains, like that's it. And I will send them to them. But if they're a nightmare, I'm just usually like, oh gosh, no, I don't know any other wedding venues around. Maybe just Google it, because I'm like, I'm
totally out of the loop on other vendor.
I try to stay in my own lane. I try not to, I'll say whatever, because I'm like, I have some really good friends that have wedding venues or like just contacts. Like, we're not super close, but I still really like them. I do not want them to deal with it.
Well, and I don't ever want somebody to be like, I heard about you from Central Park Farms, and then you're getting like my castaway nightmare. Like, that is my fear, is that they'll be like, I hate that chick at Central Park Farms. She always sends me her like,
why am I getting into trouble?
People. Totally. So I'm very careful about that. But that makes such a valid point, is that clear expectations. And I feel like with the farm as well. I feel like we don't overpromise. We like set really clear expectations. So I feel like we don't get that kind of thing very often. So when I do, I know it's typically outside of something that we could have done differently. And if you're listening to this episode and thinking, I need more of this, you're not alone. That's exactly why we're building a growing lineup of courses designed specifically for business women like you who are ready to level up. Whether you're craving practical strategies or systems that actually work for your lifestyle, we've got you covered. Tap the link in the show notes to get early access, bonus resources, and first dibs when new programs drop, because you shouldn't have to build your business alone.
Yeah, I'm right in the ramp up to market right now. And we said we were going to start spilling the tea later in the episode. So we're spilling some real tea right now. I have so badly on a couple of my posts wanted to just refund people that have purchased tickets that feel the need to leave comments on my stuff that are, here's the thing. They're not about me. They're not about my market, but they'll be like about one of the vendors that's been there, or like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, this is not helpful. This is not kind. This isn't even the right spot for you to be leaving these comments. So like, why don't you just not? And then they'll do that. And then they'll be like, the one today, I'm hoping to get a babysitter so that I can come to market. And I kind of just want to be like, no, please don't. Like, please. Please don't.
I always wonder what goes through somebody's head to take the time to leave a review that is just unkind or has that like edge of when it's like a small business thing. I'm like, what?
Just go somewhere else.
Company do that caused you to want to like, yeah.
You know what you just made me think of, right?
What?
Mark, what was the name? Shoot, I can't even remember his name. I just posted about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You've been spicy lately.
Listen, I am so tired. I'm so tired. And I feel like I've been working so hard for so long and have really tried to make the best reputation I can for it. Like, I know we have a reputation of holding firm and of not catering to people, which isn't always the most popular, but I do feel like I've really made a good reputation that we over deliver and under promise and that we work our tails off. Like, we will be the hardest worker in the room. This guy, but okay, if you've ever met me and if you've been listening to this podcast, you've made it to whatever episode number this is, 30. I will drop it. Is this 30?
I think so.
We missed the champagne again.
I know.
Anyways, don't squirrel me. Focus.
Mike.
Mike? It started with an M. Anyways, if you know me, I will drop an F-bomb. I will, I even do it in a board meeting, you guys, at my day job. Like, my boss is fully aware that I curse. I do. That's just me. It's who I am. It's probably not going to change anytime soon. This guy felt the need to send me an email. So somehow got to my website, found my email, sends me an email about how he really loves my entrepreneurial spirit, but he can't and won't follow me because I use implied curse words. And I'm like, implied my ass. Oop, now I got to mark this as explicit, but like implied. No, I said it. Like, don't say implied. I know what he's talking about. It's that holy airball one. And I put like a weird C because I didn't want it to get like flagged. So I put like a funky C on it. And I think that's what he's talking about. And I'm just like, listen, if you feel like you
or
are
it could
watching
be the one about CJ.
Oh yeah, I did do that.
You implied that one on that one too.
Yeah. Oh, well, most of the time I just say it. So he should have been glad that I implied it. I could not. And then he signed it off with a Bible verse about her repenting her sins or something. I don't know how to Google it.
Jay made me look up the Bible verse when I read it to him.
I did too. I had to look it up.
Yeah. I just the actual amount of effort that took is like commendable. Like, I don't try that hard for most things. Like, I could never imagine going from an Instagram post to the person's website, to the contact us page, get that, type up the email and send it because somebody said a word or implied a word. Get out of here.
That's responded.
One of those people for me. I know
he responded. No. I responded and then he responded.
Oh, he responded again.
Yeah. I was just over it by that point. So I was like, I'm not. And my DMs were blowing up. But I was like, I said my piece. If you've met me in real life, you know I drop a curse word. And if you don't like that and you don't want to support me because of it, then don't let the door hit you on the way out, dude. I'm not the person for you. I'm not the farm for you. Go find another redheaded 36-year-old female with an entrepreneurial spirit for you to cheer on. Like,
go find your Disney princess who sells meat.
Go find her. I'm sure there's one out there. And I'm not changing who I am for you as a stranger. Like that. No, excuse me. And that's where I put the, I'm not shrinking to be digestible. You can fucking choke. And I've already said ass, so I'm going to say it. Anyways, we'll put that little disclaimer on the explicit. But I was so just gobsmacked that you would take the time to do that. And the amount of time that people complain about something on your business page that isn't even in your control, complaining about the weather at market, complaining about the bees, complaining about, I'm just like, if you can't see that I couldn't do anything about that, if you can't see that I can't make it rain and I can't do it. Yeah. And so I really do. There are times I just, sometimes I want to find on their handle, find their name on my ticket purchases and just, your order's been canceled.
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet. Somebody might get one though.
No, it is so tough. And I think that that's just been something through my growth, like I said, my growth as a person and my growth through business is being okay with not being the fan favorite in every single instance and being okay with making sure. And I think that that's made our customer base just so incredible. And I think it makes it so that you actually want to work because you know that your boss is going to protect you. And like, obviously, like our employees aren't doing things that are out of line. So it's very easy to make sure that they're treated well.
Yeah, I don't have employees, I have contractors. None of them are forward facing, but I feel as a business owner that when I get to that point and they are forward facing, that is 100% the take. And I can say that because I just had a conversation with someone else's employee. She asked my advice on something. She didn't want to bother her boss. So she was like, hey, what would you do with my law enforcement background? And I said, 100% call your boss right now. And she's like, but I don't want to. And I said, she wants to know. And I guarantee you, she does not want her employee feeling like this. It was a customer making her uncomfortable. Yep. And I said, I guarantee you, she wants to know and she wants to make you safe. Cause I know the owner too. And I was just like, she kind of was like, am I being paranoid? And I was like, you are not being paranoid. Those are called signs. The FBI would call that a clue. Pay attention, do what you need to do. So always take care of your employees. Okay. So we're going to move on because I feel like we swirled a little bit. This is a big one for me. I judge, and I'm going to be like so honest right now. I judged so hard on this one. And it was someone that did not deserve that judgment. I don't know that they knew they were being judged. I don't think I ever said anything to them, but like in my head, I judged.
I have no idea where you're going with this. This is wild. Go.
We're spilling the tea. Anyways, I had just this absolute mindset of like, you are a terrible business person. You should not even be in business. You should have a job. You should be in a 9-to-5 with a boss that is like, I'm so judgy about that. And I feel very badly, even though I never projected that judgment onto the person. I do feel very badly about that. And I need you to know that ahead of this. Okay. Because
I know exactly what you're going to say now. Because I had to tell you.
Yeah, no, you did. And you called me on it. And that was great. And I still was kind of like, that's sort of a cop-out, Kendall.
Oh, no, you totally judged me calling you out on it.
Yeah, no, it did. It 100%. Like, this is personal growth, guys. If you don't get to the point in your lives where you can't look back and realize that you made a mistake or that you have learned some really hard lessons or have got to face some very uncomfortable personal truths about yourselves, then you have not lived enough life yet. I'm just going to say that because it's coming. Your humbling moment Your humbling moment is coming. It is. It's like the child that you're never going to feed your kid fast foods. And like, let me know how that first McDonald's order feels for you because anyways, this is me facing that moment head on. This is me staring at my own humbling. I judged super hard that I would never get to the point where I wouldn't respond to emails, but I would still be showing my face online because at the time, my belief was that your emails are on your phone, your social media is on your phone. If you're on your phone, you can answer both. So you dang well better not be posting if you haven't responded to my email yet. And when I tell you the crow I am eating at this point in my life, God is bringing humble pie right up to me right now. And I was so wrong.
When you
So
said
wrong.
that to me, I was like, you just wait, girl, until that inbox gets busier. I was like, I swear to you, I just wait. And I was like, you are right on the cusp in your business where it's not going to be possible anymore. And then the alternative is you don't market yourself because your inbox is never at zero. And I was like, get ready.
Oh, I would have died to have been a fly on the wall after you and I had that conversation of what you went back home to Jay and were like, ha ha, guess what Jess thinks.
I literally now have a VA who just responds to emails. That's literally her entire job. 5 days a week, she just responds to emails because my inbox was so out of control.
I just, oh,
no.
I can think back and I can hear myself saying the judgment out loud and just having no idea the freight train that was going to come down the line.
You were so confident. Like you said 100%. That with your whole chest. Oh. And I was sitting there with like 1,100 unread emails like, okay.
I've never had a hard time putting out a real confident forward-facing opinion. Yeah. When
How's that inbox going?
No, it's so bad. It's so bad, you guys. And there are days when I want to take it off of my phone because it causes so much anxiety even after archive. Okay, so let me come back to that. Even after archiving things that I know I'm never going to respond to, because we've shared that trick before. Reminder, we should link that episode in there if your inbox is out of control. Even after doing that, it causes so much anxiety that there are times that I just want to take it off my phone so I don't have to see it as I'm like taking my kids to 4-H and I'm answering the call that, my friend needs something or whatever, because it's a constant reminder of like where I'm dropping the ball. And I know if I do that, the amount that it's going to exponentially get worse makes that not an option. And here I am like driving up to the golf course, triaging emails like, oh, I'm going to reply to that later. Spoiler alert, probably not going to reply to that later because I'll have forgotten by the time I get home to reply to it later. I feel so bad for being that judgy person because I am like walking those shoes right now. And I feel really bad about that. I just needed you to know that. And I have 100% changed my tune on that.
Oh, literally.
I hope that this is a good lesson in giving grace to people.
Yeah.
I still will strongly and confidently say that there is a time to give grace and there is a time that it is just truly unacceptable to drop the ball on things.
Yeah.
We've talked about that too.
Yeah, we have.
But especially in this situation where it was like, I think in my head, I had such a hard time separating. How are you showing up on Instagram and not responding to the email when they're both apps on your phone? Like that's where that disconnect came from. And I had no idea.
Because then the volume of emails becomes so high that you could never market your business otherwise if you had to wait until you were inbox zero all the time. So that's why I hired Cass. Cass is my girl now. She like triages everything for me. And then I have like a little file that says important for Kendall. And then I just go there and I just deal with the things in there. And then she sends me every day, Monday to Friday, she sends me a little email with like an update of, you have 14 emails in your triage. Thank you. But that took a lot. Like I'm 11 years in.
Yeah, you're about 5 years ahead of me.
Yeah. So like if you're sitting there with like 3,000 emails in your inbox and you're like, why can't I do that? And I probably will have to eat ramen noodles to afford to do that for a bit. And that's going to just have to be okay. Because I was like, I need my sanity back. So what am I going to give up?
Do you feel like 3,000 emails is a lot? Because we've tipped the scales at over 6,000 on mine right now. And I am dying.
So I told Cass not to go back. Like I gave her this is kind of like beginning of June. If somebody emailed me prior to the beginning of June, sorry, but like you're not getting hopefully you email me again. So she's just filed everything that's old beyond June. And then we are moving forward. She's now taking care of info and admin's emails. I'm going to boot her over to marketing for farmers soon because she's like really on top of it now. Just kind of like to get me caught up everywhere because it's insane. Like the sheer number of inquiries that we get as a business and like just small things. Like I noticed it says, so obviously I had to look at my frequently asked questions and revamp some things like that, but it's been really helpful because she just takes care of any of the more generalized inquiries and then triages to the right team member.
If you just heard my highlighter open, that's because Kendall just triggered a reminder that I had a message come through that was a really good question that I need to add to my FAQs, and I have yet to do that because I forgot about it, and she reminded me, so I uncapped my highlighter to write that down.
I was wondering, I was like, are we just starting to work now while we record?
Like, this is what it's like when we're body doubling. No, it's all coming so fast and so furious, so many DMs. And I feel really bad. I get it. I shouldn't be reinforcing the behavior. And if you are a person that has done this to me, please know I don't judge you, like at all. I absolutely want you to do this. But what's happening now is they're emailing me, asking me a question, which is where I want the communication to go so I can search for it and not lose it like I do with DMs. Yep. They're not getting a response fast enough. And then they're coming to DMs. And then they're sending me the same question in DMs, in which then then I recognize like I have dropped the ball over here in emails. I need to say something, but then it's in my DMs and not in my emails. And then I lose it. And I'm trying really hard to hold that line as we're getting close to market. That is just getting more and more. And I don't ever want to not answer, but unfortunately that's just where we're at. And I've tried to I'm trying to put pieces in play, but just like all of you that are listening, right? Like I'm growing and learning, and I can only do so much with what I can. And so I just have to hope that people have grace. But if you don't give me grace, just know I earned it because I did not give grace when I should have. So and funny. Just know if you are hating on me for not responding to your email, I accept it. I accept that because I was that person. And I had to learn that lesson.
I feel bad about your inbox. I feel bad about it because I know what it feels like. I'm not laughing at that. It is a beautiful transition that we always are learning and adapting.
Okay, can we move off of me though? Because I feel real like
we'll leave it off on like not as a hard one. I swore I would never do anything.
Hold on. I feel like we need the never have I ever. Why didn't we start this? Yeah. Why didn't we start this episode with that? Raise your hand. We could have had the women in the car. Like never have I ever.
Said that I was going to stay away from anything like highly perishable, anything in a restaurant sphere, anything in a like cooking and serving of food, not a selling a frozen pork chop that you're like good if it doesn't sell that week. And then you're not, like you're fine if it doesn't sell that week. And now we're opening a commercial kitchen. I didn't tell you.
We haven't talked.
Yeah, I know. I'm searching for a food truck right now because I could put a food truck outside the front of the farm store and get myself out of there's a loophole.
Oh, like a permitting loophole?
Yeah, a permitting loophole that just makes things slightly easier. So I'd still have the commercial kitchen for the prep and everything like that and also have a food truck. So I'm currently shopping for potentially a food truck.
Can we just talk about how asinine that is, though? That you have to do a workaround to serve the food out of a temporary container because it's easier than you handing it over a counter in the same space. That is government.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know the wildest thing?
What is it?
I can get around the loophole by parking it inside the building. Tell me how that makes sense. I can get through the loophole by driving the food truck into the building and permanently parking it there as long as I don't remove the wheels off it. Make it make sense.
But you can't just have a counter there that you...
Yeah.
This, guys, government is psychotic.
Brand new equipment inside the building. Less safe than the truck with combustibles that is 30 years old that got its BC Safety Authority 30 years ago, the stamp, inside the building.
Did you look at the inspector or whatever office gave you this information and just go, maybe you ought to talk to someone about changing the rule fix the like to make this. Did you tell them that at all?
I'd like to just move ahead.
The answer is no, you have
so
not.
It isn't. Because I don't want them to close the loophole on me if that's the direction that I'm going to go.
I don't want them to close the loophole, but from someone that works in government, this is the point where I love my job because I get to hear this from businesses like yours. And then because you don't want the spotlight on you, which is so fair, and you don't want to lose your loophole, I then get to go before the government officials that make these rulings and say, hey, listen, this is what's stupid about what you're doing, and you should really change it because businesses are complaining. And then when they say, well, who's saying something? I go, I'm not at liberty to discuss that with you. They are protected under our confidentiality. However,
it's pretty common in my area that they like the breweries and stuff like that. They all get food trucks because they can loophole themselves that way. So we're currently in the market for a food truck, possibly to complement our kitchen in the farm store reno.
So you're going to own a restaurant.
So I'm going to own a restaurant in this farm store with a food truck. When I swore,
what is it?
I swore never. In fact, the judgment on the email. I'm sorry if you own a restaurant right now, but I am not a chef and I've never worked in a restaurant besides being a bartender. So not the same. I was like, what kind of insane human being would ever deal with those crappy margins on a highly perishable product? Never would I ever. Never would I ever. And now I'm just like, could we also get a food truck? Could we maybe also?
What is the what was the transition
what was the
there?
Reasoning? Well,
yeah, why?
Because if we're going to do our own kitchen to do prepared foods and we have a chef who has restaurant experience. He owned his own restaurant for a long time. And so it's not going to be full-fledged restaurant, but I would like to serve some hot food sometimes. But a very limited. Does it feel
like a diversification, a diversifying in your own way?
And I feel like if people came to the farm store, if you came to the farm store on Wednesday night when the farm store is open in the evening and you could literally go home with something warm and just go home and eat it. Or you could come, we're right in the winery area. And so if we could do the non-alcoholic space is really big now, especially in our area. And we're right in the middle of the winery. So what if we had, charcuterie boards in the beautiful area and we had farm to table mocktails, but nice mocktails, not right.
The good ones.
Good ones. So that you're the DD stop, your designated drivers, taking all the white girl wasted girls to all the winery stops. Then you could stop at my farm and have and feel like you're part of the tour stop and that everybody cares enough to stop for you. And you guys can eat some charcuterie or you can have something, delicious done by our chef who's owned his own restaurant for decades. And I don't have to be the chef. I don't have to order the food. I don't have to deal with any of that. But I wouldn't do it if it didn't have that kind of partnership with Adrian. I wouldn't do it for myself. Erin wants to do pop-ups, our chef that we work with for recipe development. She's a pastry chef by specialty, and she wants to do beautiful pastries as a pop-up style where it's before Easter, she does a pop-up and you come buy all your pastries. At Christmas, you come buy all your stuff in a more of a pop-up capacity than necessarily every single day we have a menu of 30 items and you can buy it from the moment we wake up till the moment we go to bed. That's not really it. But I just never in a million years.
Does that not speak volumes though to business and growing in business, and also lend itself to showcasing how you can do something in a way that fits your business? It doesn't have to be the traditional way. You don't have to look at X, Y, and Z and make the same package that everyone else is presenting. There are, and I'm thinking of several right now, there are cult following barbecues where they don't tell you where they're going to be because they don't know or they don't have an agreement or whatever that is. There is something inside the business structure that is causing it to work that way. And there are, in the right time, in the right place, in the right situations, you will find your people that will still they don't care that it's different. They don't care that there's only food until it sells out. Like they just know that. They line up early, they get it. You know what I mean? And you'll always get those people. There's a cookie company on the west side of our state. She was on the Food Network. She won a bunch of cookie contests, super wildly. She seems so sweet. I do not know her at all. She has a bakery that is open one day a week on Saturdays until she sells out. And that's it. Like you cannot, and people leave the most horrendous reviews. And she's always like, I don't care. This is what I wanted to do for my family. This is the only day we're doing it. She doesn't take orders. Like she makes what she wants to make and that's it. And it's like, you know what? If you can do that and you can pay your bills and this is the way you want to run the business, do it.
Yeah. That's basically like what Erin wants to do. She wants to do like a pop-up bakery inside a CPF and like chef will do like pop-up food inside a CPF. And so, I mean, it is like a restaurant, but I swore never, ever would I do something that was, you know, where you could have a waste byproduct that is that perishable.
You have pigs though, right?
Yeah, but like,
can you feed them the leftovers?
Like organic, local, whatever.
Right, but
and
I mean,
like, feeding that to a pig. Yeah.
Can't you at least like it wouldn't just go in the trash? Yeah.
No, what will happen is Jay will feel like he needs to force feed himself every scrap of lettuce.
He'll be eating like leftover chicken salads for the next 3 days.
Totally. It'll just be like, we got to power through. We just got to power through so it doesn't go to waste.
All of a sudden, stay tuned for the next update from CPF because it'll be like team dinners on Fridays or whatever didn't sell on Wednesday. And they'll be so excited that they just got lunch.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, you guys. Okay. All we wanted you to know was that we are all human. We all only know what we know until we know better. And that it is absolutely a sign of growth for you to change your mind, to admit that maybe you were wrong about something, even when it's really hard, and for you to decide that you are in fact going to do something wildly different than what you said you were always going to. And there is no shame. Okay, there's a little bit of shame in it. Like I have shame still over the judgy situation because I should have been a better human. But that there is no shame in just standing up and saying, I've changed my mind. Or I'm going to do better now because I know better. I'm going to change how this happens, to own it, to speak it out loud, and to let go of what you thought was the way that things needed to go. And we will be your real life examples of that.
We will always share from the heart. Let ourselves be the guinea pigs and let ourselves be the ones who say, yeah, we messed up, or yeah, we changed our minds.
I'd love to hear if you have a never have I ever, never swore I would never, whatever story that is. Yeah. We would love to hear it. Send us a DM. I'm sure there are some good humdingers out there that will be entertaining to read. Thank you so much for being here. We will catch you guys on the next episode.